It's time to jump into the Bowling Green Refrigeration Heating and Cooling Sports Web with your host, Brian Webb. Also starring Danny the Limb Hartung, MLB Insider, made possible thanks to First Step Orthotics on the Bypass. WKU Sports Analysis with Casey Werner, presented by Poston Electronics. The one and only Vegas Frank Against the Odds, presented by JBK Network Consulting. Free golf tips with WKU women's golf coach in Gary on the Green from Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill, your Green Egg headquarters. Spotlighting high school athletics with the Culver's Butterburgers Player of the Week. The coach's pick with Damon Tabor with plaques from Oak Tree Awards. All guests via the Line X of Bowling Green hotline. And now, the Sports Web.
Dog hovered over me like a champ, man. He was there, and, he was cool. And I was kind of yelling because I was actually not too far from my house, and of course, Ann didn't hear me, so, no big deal. But I gathered myself and picked myself up and went home and went to the doctor's the next day because I couldn't go to work Friday, and they said, yeah, you busted 2 ribs, and you actually got an abrasion or a contusion on your lung. I went, terrific.
Golly.
Ooh, Edwards Hilaire just scored. Wow.
Uh-oh. I didn't have
that
him.
game's already pretty high scoring, it sounds like.
14-10, just 14-10 now. But, no, it was great. It was good baseball, man. I got to watch a lot of baseball, and, old Atlanta kind of beat themselves last night just by not doing fundamental baseball. It was, as far as base running, they did a really bad job, and it could have made the difference in the game. Their bats were good, but not as good as the Dodgers just come alive with the bats. And Kyle Seager's just a plain out stud. 5 home runs in the series, and Bellinger's coming to life, and heck, they're all contributing. 1-9. I wouldn't want to face that crew. Tampa Bay's got their work cut out for them. They're going to pitch probably. What does it start? I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
They're going to pitch
Glasnow
against the old lefty Kershaw, and it might be an interesting series, but I don't think Tampa's going to hang with them personally. I think it's going to be down to maybe 5 games personally in my thought on Los Angeles way. So, Tampa may squeak out 1, maybe 2. We'll see, but. I think their bats are too hot right now. To tell you the truth, it's getting they're really coming to life, and they're fun, actually fun to watch. But I was kind of rooting for Atlanta, and along with a bunch of my friends. But what can you do? So
yeah,
but Tampa Bay squeaked it out pretty good Saturday night, man. I was happy for them because. They've been there a couple of years, since 2008, I think. So, talking 12 years. Yeah. And they're a good team. They're young and big bad Randy Orozima.
Oh, yeah.
That guy can rake.
It was definitely an entertaining weekend of baseball, but I want to ask you, though, Danny, because you watch baseball all the time. This year's league championship series, both of them, American League and National League, going to 7 games. When's the last time you remember it being this entertaining as far as both games, teams coming back from 3-1, 3-0, and then, ultimately winning the series? So how does it compare, you think?
Not since the 2004 Boston Red Sox, man. I mean, it's been that long. But the crazy thing is, Casey, there's no rest. There's no rest in between games. They play the next night. You can't rest a pitcher. So you guys have to be very, very diligent on how you use your bullpens. And both of them, I think, did a good job. Kevin Cash is a master at using that bullpen, and they got a good one. I mean, with Anderson in there, and they used him a lot. But he's going to have a few days rest. He should be fully ready to go this week. But we'll see how they do, man. And they're going to pull out all the stops, and they're going to use every guy on their bench. Blake Snell can't get mad when he gets pulled out of a game because, he doesn't think he's ready to go. That's just a maturity factor where, most of these guys on the Dodgers, they know what to do. They know how to think. But I tell you what, I'd love to have Morton go at least 3 games if he could for Tampa, because this guy is a bona fide stud when it comes to these playoff games, because he's won 3 Game 7s now in a row, and that's pretty tight, man. That is pretty tight.
That's very solid.
Any more on the White Sox job?
I haven't heard anything.
I put my name in.
I know.
I haven't got a call yet.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's developing. I mean, I would love it personally to be somebody like A.J. Pierzynski. I've heard his name thrown in there. That's probably who would be my number one pick. But, I mean, La Russa and Hinch have also been thrown in there. Neither of those guys really interest me.
Now it's Cora as well.
Yeah, Cora as well. I don't think he really interests me as well. But it's one of those, managerial markets right now. It's a little weird with everything that went on with the Astros scandal. But tying into that, though, speaking of the Astros and the Braves, who lost the league championship series, out of those two teams, Danny, which one do you think is more likely to return to the championship series next year?
Well, Astros got a lot of problem with free agents next year. George Springer's going to be on the block. Who else? There's a bunch of them there. But they're not going to have Verlander next year either. You know what I mean?
No.
His surgery was late July, so he's not going to be ready. They got a bunch of good arms, young arms. Framber Valdez is a stud. He's going to be a really, really good pitcher. But the thing about it that scares me with that guy, he throws a lot of strikes, man. When someone figures him out, someone's going to go crazy yard on him a lot. But Houston's got a lot of free agents coming up. I would say Atlanta has a better chance next year or the year after, perhaps, of going back to where they were this year. So we'll see. But I'd give Atlanta a lot better chance than I would Houston.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think Atlanta's definitely got the better chance there. I'm honestly pretty surprised that it actually ended up going to 7 games with Houston. I know a lot of people are upset about that, and I got to say I'm pretty happy that they didn't pull that series out. But are you surprised that the Astros made it back this far and were this successful after all the animosity in the offseason, Danny?
Not at all. You know why? Because I tell you what, the key on that team was Correa, and he hasn't hit a lick since the second half of the year. Altuve's done his job. Bregman got cold, but you're getting surprised by guys. Correa was just a bona fide maniac. I mean, he hit 5 home runs. But they pitched to him every time. That's what drove me crazy. These guys don't walk anybody anymore on purpose. Just and then they're getting hits from trying to think of some more of the names there, but they did all around. They came back and they started hitting Tampa's depleted, tired bullpen is what happened once. But right. I think they're going to be ready to rock and roll old Tampa. But like I said, I don't think they're going to be able to stack up good enough with old Los Angeles 1-9. That lineup's going to be awful tough to beat. Muncy can turn on any fastball thrown at him, so it's crazy. It's crazy, but it'll be fun to watch.
One thing you got.
There might be a lot of runs scored. That's what I like.
Right. Probably not game 1 though.
No.
Two good arms.
Not with Kershaw and Glass now going, but down the road there might be some 10 to 12 to 10 games. Man, that's what I want to see. Some great shootouts.
Right. Me too.
And I guarantee you'll probably see some. But, it was a lot of fun watching them, and looking forward to the series, man. It starts tomorrow.
I saw something earlier today that showed Kershaw, and I can't remember what other Dodger, 2 salaries that equal basically the whole team cap for the Rays.
Probably Mookie Betts.
Yeah, it was Mookie Betts. Yeah. Man, what a catch he made last night, though. Oh my gosh. Big Rob.
Yeah, that's another thing that, in Game 6, what's his name left the bag early, and that was another game they could have won. That's fundamental baseball. When Ozuna left too early, and if he stays there, the next guy gets a hit. They win that game, and it's fundamental baseball. Base running, they're just overzealous is all they were.
Well, you guys got any? Let's make some predictions here, Danny. You already kind of laid yours down. You're thinking Dodgers in 5. Casey, what are you thinking?
I think the Dodgers will get out front 2-0, but then I think Tampa Bay will grind their way back in. I'm going to say 6 games. I'll say LA in 6. But I really do think that Tampa Bay can grind their way into this. I just love that whole clubhouse and the whole atmosphere they got going there. You know, not a lot of star power on that team, not a really high payroll, but just a good ball club. And I think they, since they made it this far, you know, they kind of have their head in it, and I think they're really well led, and I think they're going to at least take it 6 games.
Very good, very good. I just didn't think they don't have the firepower in their offense right now, and which they could very well, but you know, Lau's got to get hot, and Arena's got to stay that way, and you know, but after that, they're not getting a lot of you know, long ball hitters after that, and Lau hasn't hit a lick. So I mean, we'll have to see. It may change now. You know, that's the thing. You can flip the switch at any time, and all of a sudden, boom, these guys are just starting to rake. So, you know, we'll see.
A lot of people were excited to see that the Astros were eliminated the other night.
Yes, they were. There were a lot of people.
I'd love to know what you two guys think about their run this year, you know, with the scrutiny and the microscope. Did they do better than you thought they would?
Yeah.
No, I absolutely thought they'd do. I thought they'd make the playoffs because that lineup is no slouch. I don't care if they're beating on trash cans or not. That's a solid lineup with you know, with Springer and Correa and Altuve and Bregman, and you know, that's right there. There's 4 all-stars right there, and you know, so you can't, you know, I'm sure they got their help with that, you know, knowing what to hit, but those guys are too good. You know, you're talking about there's 3 of those guys were number 1 picks. With Correa and Bregman, or Bregman was number 2, excuse me. But no, they're too good a baseball team. But they're going to start losing some guys to free agent. They're going to have to start building again, and you know, we'll see. We'll see down the road what they're going to do.
Danny, let's talk a little football before you go. And then I wanted to also say Saturday, I would like to play you heads up for a $100 bill on the golf course. It'll be a good time, right? I mean.
You know what? I had to back out of our member this weekend.
Oh, that's right. You did have your member. Oh, man, yeah. I hate that. That's
well, I'm out probably 6 to 8 weeks.
I was going to say.
I'm going to go to the club and say, hey, man, I'm going to take what they call a medical leave, and you don't have to pay the whole month's due.
There you go.
I'm going to probably do it till January.
Or you could,
I'm not going to play a lot of golf in December. So.
That's true. Or you could just get a good craps game up there in the back hallway going.
And get thrown out. Yeah.
Well, what'd you think about? Let's start with Brady putting on a show after a tough loss last week. Aaron Rodgers, man, I don't know. It's crazy. This season's been so wild. Anyway, you never know what you're going to see. But break down this weekend's games and some of the highlights, some of the takeaways you guys had, Casey, you and Danny.
Well, I tell you what, Derrick Henry is a man.
Oh my goodness,
40 points in fantasy, baby. Yes, sir.
Man, when he broke off that 95-yard run. I was enthralled watching any 250-pound running back that could beat a 5'11", 160-pound D-back, you know, down the league. There's something very special about this guy.
Very special.
Very special about this
And
kid.
you got to say Tannehill, man. I mean, he's
mercy. Yeah.
I'm thinking MVP for the guy. I mean, I think he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, you look at his I think it was the stat that showed his last 16 games. He's thrown better than Patrick Mahomes, and he's outplaying Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes in his last 16 games statistically. So he's very much so getting it done. Danny, you know, we talk about Derrick Henry, and would you agree? I think I was talking about my friend about this last night, and as far as Derrick Henry being really the only workhorse back left in football. Would you agree with that?
Totally agree. I mean.
Yeah, he's a throwback. He's a throwback.
You can't get him above the waist and try to buckle him. I mean, it takes 3 guys to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, but he's so powerful. And that 250 pounds behind him doesn't hurt, you know.
Yeah, really.
But, you've got to hit him low to tackle him. That's what I fear sometimes is they're going to start hitting him way too low and
get hurt.
You know, get hurt, but he's so much fun to watch, and he's a good guy.
Super good.
You know, I love the Titans this year. They look great.
I do too, man. I mean, they're definitely in the. I mean, they made it championship game last year and almost got in, but if they keep this kind of momentum going, I think the Steelers game is going to be a big deal for both those teams.
That will definitely be a big deal. But you know what? The problem with the Titans is, just like the last couple of years, their defense needs a lot of improvement, man. I mean, that good goal line stance was terrific, granted, but man, they're giving up too many passing yardage. I mean, just these little dink and dunks, and that's just going to hurt them. And Ben will do that to you.
Well, and another thing is, if Tannehill kind of slows down on his momentum and his ability to keep them on the field, the offense, and that's kind of helped the defense. I think kept their legs under them and stuff. But if they get in a situation where there's some 3 and outs and defense is having to come in and out of the game, then I think that could be detrimental, to a second half part of a football game for them.
Totally agree, brother.
Yeah, as far as Danny, as far as other games around the league this weekend, whether it be prime time games or just anything that you observed, what did you what surprised you and what kind of shocked you?
Well, the Baltimore game kind of shocked me a little bit. They didn't look like the world beaters they have been lately. I mean, and who else really is not very good? Oh, Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, they're lousy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And I wasn't impressed with the Rams last night either.
No, you're telling me, brother. I mean, goodness.
You're hitting home there.
The Niners had a Niners-like 2019 game again. I mean, you got to see with that team, all it takes is a good game from Jimmy G, and they're on track.
Jimmy G woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. I think they, but the new kid for Herbert from San Diego looked pretty good.
Oh man, I'm high on him, man.
Yeah,
he can hum it, man. That kid's got a good arm, man. Of course, he's like what 6'6", 6'7"?
6'7". Yeah, he's very tall.
He can see over the line like most of them can't.
Yeah, that's true.
But I watched a lot of college and Kentucky big win there,
man,
guys.
Sir, over the Vols.
That was
What
huge.
a stomp.
Mm-hmm.
Stoops.
I was at home convalescing, watching that, and texting a lot of my buddies, and they weren't answering my texts either. So
Love it.
All my UT buddies. So, but Nebraska plays Ohio State this week in the opener, so this should be a real laugher.
Well, yeah, I'm just at least they're all back in the swing of it. I mean, they're getting in a little late, but
line's 46.5, so that should be that should be a lot of fun to watch.
Did you say 46.5?
No, 26.
Oh, I thought he did too.
What?
I was like, holy cow!
A conference line at that.
We're not MTSU, guys.
Right.
Well, Danny, we want you to mend up, buddy, and hopefully you'll be able to get back at a little bit of physical prowess when you get maybe next week. We'll get you back in the studio.
I'll be back next week, fellas. I'll be there. So.
Well, tell the dog thank you for saving. Is Saint Bernard with one of those big buckets under his neck, or what do you got?
No, he is actually a lab Rottweiler.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That explains the ability to take care of his master before somebody come and saved you the other night. No ambulances, though, right? No ambulances.
No.
That's
no
good.
ambulance.
That's ambulance.
Ambulance.
Man, that's great. Well, listen, buddy, we appreciate you. First up, prosthetics, orthotics, and we'll hook up with you next week, and we'll find out a little bit more baseball, what's happened over the week for the World Series.
Cool. Get out and vote.
There you go,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
That's your public service announcement from the limb right there. We're going to be coming back here shortly after the break with Vegas Frank. We'll get his thoughts on it. And then we've got tonight's Culver's Butterburgers High School Football Player of the Week is Jax Cooper. You got to see Jax in action the other night. He caught passes from two different quarterbacks.
Yep, that's right.
McIntyre got hurt there for a minute, came back in later. But I told you you're going to see a really good one up there. That's always a great matchup up there. And then tonight we also have filling in for Adam Gary. He's on the road, big tournament with the girls, the Lady Tops. So we had Charlie Reber, Bowling Green High golfer, finished tied for 8th in the Buick-Leachman GMC Leachman-Buick GMC KHSAA tournament out at Bowling Green. So we're going to hang out with him. He's been filling in for Adam Gary. So don't go anywhere. Casey and I will be back with you here shortly. But Vegas Frank after the break on Sports Webb 102.7.
This is Mike Keith, voice of the Tennessee Titans, and you're listening to the Sports Web on ESPN Radio 102.7.
How much were your heating costs last winter? I'm sure too much. Mike Keith here to tell you how to heat your home for just $600 a year. Trust the experts at Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill to transform your old fireplace into a stunning source of heat with brand names such as Yodel, Fireplace Extraordinaire, Avalon, and Lopi, the Cadillac of fireplaces. Lopi's Cape Cod is the world's cleanest burning wood stove with unbelievable hybrid fire technology. Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill, just off the bridge on Old Louisville Road. BowlingGreenFireplace.com.
Hi, this is Danny Hartung with First Step Prosthetics. Gary Harris and I would like to thank the people of Bowling Green and the surrounding areas for their support of the last 10 years. We are proud to announce that we have been celebrating over a decade of service to this community. We are going strong with the utmost care for our orthotic and prosthetic patients. We strive to provide the new and latest technology for the care of our patients and whatever their specific needs should be. Take the next step with us. Next Batteries Plus on the bypass, or visit us at firststepprosthetics.com.
Watching new movies on demand demands Poston Electronics. Now that Hollywood's skipping the theater, choose Postons for big picture, big clarity, and big screen sound at home. While the theater's closed, Poston Electronics renovated and expanded, bringing Southern Kentucky more at home and on the go. It's what they've done since 1974, just bigger. Forget tickets for the family. Think of what you'll save on popcorn. On Demand is here to stay. For your home theater, demand Poston Electronics across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
The Hilltopper football season is underway, and that means the Tyson Helton Coaches Show is back on the airwaves. Join host Randy Lee and WKU head football coach Tyson Helton for a look back at the previous week, a preview of the next game up, and some stories and laughs along the way. Various Hilltopper players will make appearances throughout the season as well, giving their perspective of the action on the field. Tune into the Tyson Helton Coaches Show Monday at 6 on your flagship station for Hilltopper football, Sam 100.7. Sports are back in South Central Kentucky, and ESPN Radio 102.7 is bringing our coverage to the palm of your hand. With the new ESPN 102.7 app, you're one tap away from local high school, WKU, Cincinnati Reds, and Tennessee Titans coverage. Plus, you'll have access to live and archived broadcasts of your favorite local shows, such as Red Towel Radio, the Sports Web, and Soki's Outdoors. Just search for ESPN Radio 102.7 in the App Store to download the new ESPN 102.7 app.
This is something here, Luann, to have you in the truck with me and Earl. Normally, you're just calling us on the phone.
Yep.
See, that's why me and Earl had us an idea. We said, let's bring Luann with us next round.
Mm-hmm.
Luann, we's a-hunting for something that's ancient and rich in tradition in the Bluegrass State, the ever-elusive snipe.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eugene going to go get the snipe hunting area set up, and then you ease your way back on down here after you park the truck here, darling, all right?
Sure thing, honey. Those boys think I'm going to go park this truck. I'm headed home to get my Carrier air conditioner installed that I've been waiting for the past 5 years. Snipe hunting my rear end. The only hunting I'm going to do is for Earl's checkbook to pay for it all.
So Luann turned to the experts herself for a Carrier unit from Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling because she knew your comfort is their concern. And while Earl and Eugene are somewhere stranded in the woods, snipe hunting, Luann is comfortable at home with her new Carrier unit from Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling.
What's wrong, John? You look down.
With everything going on, strapped for cash, don't really know what to do.
Everyone knows Game Exchange pays the most cash for your video games, flat screen TVs, home audio, smart home and streaming devices, Blu-ray movies, and Apple devices. I traded my guest bedroom TV last week and got a lot more than I thought. They even unloaded the TV for me. Hey, where are you going?
Going to Game Exchange, of course.
Game Exchange with locations in Bowling Green, Hopkinsville, Louisville, Lexington, and E-Town.
Tennessee
Tennessee Titans football on 105.3 The Point is presented by Southern States Bowling Green Co-op, your propane headquarters. More 2020 Tennessee Titans season is also brought to you in part by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating and Cooling, First Step Prosthetics and Orthotics, Bank of Edmonson County, and Coca-Cola. Hear the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, and all the action this year. Presented by Southern States Bowling Green Co-op, your propane headquarters on 105.3 The Point.
Hello, Vegas. Give me $100 on red.
$200 in chips, please.
Are you a professional?
What's your bet, sir?
A bet.
Hit me.
It's a bust.
Whoa! I am on fire.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
You're a winner!
Against the Odds with Vegas Frank is brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. JBK Network Consulting. We are IP everything. Working with complex organizations to achieve measurable business outcomes is what we do. Let Jim Grant and JBK Network Consulting go to work for you. Call 270-796-8935. Visit JBK Network Consulting at 1143 Fairway Place, Suite 105, and online at jbk.net.
Welcome back to the Sports Web, the award-winning Sports Web. Vegas Frank, we missed him last week. He had some CIA work to do over in Vietnam, but he's back now. What's up, man?
Hey, reporting for duty. It's good to be back with you this week.
Well, at least you didn't have to watch that Hilltoppers game.
No, missed a little bit of that. I caught some, I guess, highlights. Highlights?
Were there highlights? I didn't. Or 4 turnovers, maybe. I don't know, man. This team, I love my Hilltoppers. I'm not going to make fun or speak light of it because, man, we're loaded with weapons. I can't figure it out. We got a great defense. We had a great defense. I mean, we're not going to figure it out today on this call. But I mean, going forward, I think KT's the answer, man. He looks like Cam Newton out there. I mean, I feel like it's going to be – and listen, Pigram I don't think was not the answer at the time. The man really didn't make any mistakes until the Marshall game, who just absolutely plummeted us. I expected it to be a tough game, but not that tough. I mean, we scored 24 points as our max this season. I know we can do better than that. Chattanooga, man, I don't know. What do you know about the Mocs?
Well, I know that T.O. will probably be at the game. I'm sure he's going to make the trip. To attend it. He's an alumni of Chattanooga.
That's cool.
This is their whole season. It's the only game that Chattanooga's going to play this year. Coming up on Saturday. Well, we're going to see what happens as far as you want to take some carryover, some things that they did well, and the Tops can kind of like scrap it. I don't even know if they're going to have a film session. They'll just go and they'll just drop some plays. There's not a lot of film for you to watch as far as Chattanooga goes. I would say if there's some advantage for the Tops is that they've played 5 games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
they've gotten their reps in,
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're going to be a little bit more comfortable, I think. It depends on how you start. You build on that momentum from the first couple of series, the offensive series, and get into a rhythm, get that play action going. I think that they could be they get to do some good things against this Chattanooga team, who again they're only playing this one game. This is their season.
Yeah, so they can either have a 0 wins or they're undefeated this year. I mean,
statistically, yes.
Yeah, Terrell Owens, man. That's hopefully he doesn't dress. I mean, we might be in trouble that way. But I mean, I don't see us having any chance of losing this game, even if we're the same team that we've put on the field the last 5 games. I just don't see how we can mess this one up, and it's at home. So, I mean, we'll see, Frank. I'm not really – I'm sure there's no line on this game. I can't imagine there being a line. But
there is not.
So, I mean, if I had to put a line on it, I would say Tops – well, it looks like we can basically averaging about 17 points a game. So I'm going to say 17-3 Hilltoppers would and make us about 14-point favorites, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. But BYU, man, I would love to see us be ready for that game because they're such a great team, and that would speak well. But this season has not been what I expected out of the WKU Hilltoppers.
No, I tend to agree with you, and it's one of those things. This year has been so bizarre.
Yeah.
Not getting the full off season, camps and practices and reps in. It's a very bizarre year, and some teams are going to be in this boat where we're just kind of like wandering, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
Man, I tell you, here's the thing. What do you need to have a passing game? I mean, what's the one thing you need to establish, Frank, to have a passing game?
Well, you got to give your quarterback time. You got to have an arm.
One.
You got to have your quarterback time.
That's one, but you have to establish a run game to open up any kind of a passing game. And we have not been able to accomplish that feat, but we have guys that can get it done in the backfield. So, and I'm not blaming coaches. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just chalking it up as, man, we've just had a rough year. And it happens. It happens. It's not our coaching. We have a great coaching staff. We have great players. We'll figure it out, man. But poor Chattanooga, one game this year. I mean, what a weird year, man. Let's move on. You were talking about some of these teams that haven't even played yet, getting ready to fire up some of these other conferences. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, and then over the next 3 weeks, locally here, the Mountain West will start playing again. The Pac-12 is going to start playing again. The Big Ten. Over the next 3 weekends, we're going to start to see conference play. And it's kind of weird to see when they've got some teams ranked and you're thinking, well, college season is like 7 weeks old.
Yeah.
And, some of these teams haven't played yet and they still factor into the rankings. I wonder if they should have kind of reevaluated that and kind of removed them from the rankings.
I would think maybe. Notre Dame's sitting at 3 right now. I just don't know that that's a real scenario.
Yeah, this is. I mean, again, we keep saying it every week. This is an unusual season to be in this kind of. College football is very strange this year, and you're adding 2 of the power conferences back into the mix. It's a very unique set of circumstances that they're in. They're going to be playing basically only their conference schedule to factor into whatever we're going to have as far as a playoff or what have you at the end. So
really?
This is very strange, but we're excited to see that these conferences are back in play, and we're going to get 7 or 8 games out of these conferences. So that's going to be fun.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: we can't be too negative because earlier this year I said, I don't care what it looks like, just give me a football season. So we're getting that. We're kind of getting that. And,
True.
And we really can't be too nitpicky about it. Real quick before we get to the NFL. The Dodgers taking on the Rays. Man, this might be a good series, but I really thought the Braves were going to knock off those Dodgers, man.
You and me both. I mean, being a Dodger fan, I thought that, once they're up 3-1, I felt like the offensively, I think the Dodgers could have been back in this mix, but the Braves looked really strong, and it's the patience. It wasn't so much the offense, but it was the patience and the defense that got them in that 4th and 5th inning last night that kept the Dodgers in this game. Where they had opportunities, it looked like they were they're going to blow it, and they were able to just be patient, play that defense, and how about this? We expanded the Major League Baseball playoffs to the 16 teams, and the 2-1 seeds are the teams that are in the World Series. So I think that's cool that it kind of held true to form and that they were able to take advantage of this. We're getting a World Series, and it's bizarre, but you gotta like the way that these two teams are playing. Probably leaning Dodgers in this World Series.
I like you. I feel that way too. But hey, man, we got single A baseball connected to the Rays, and I think that's pretty cool. So it's nice to have them in the World Series. Good for them. Hey, another team that I want to chat about. I hope you saw that amazing finish in Nashville this weekend. But unbelievable, man. Do you think Ryan Tannehill's in the conference or in the conversation for MVP?
He definitely could. They keep putting together performances like this. He could definitely be in that conversation. The Titans, I mean, gosh, they're just resilient. And, I mean, we have, next week they'll be playing the Steelers, also an undefeated team.
Yeah.
This has been really cool to watch if you're a Titans fan. This has been a fun season for them thus far, and teams have been playing really well. They've been able to come back, win this game yesterday. It was crazy. I mean, I really like the makeup of this team, and Tannehill doesn't really feel like he's the Dolphins' Tannehill anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's a different guy.
He looks like Tom Brady 10 years ago, dude, is what he looks like. Hey, let me ask you this, though. How important? Derrick Henry, King Henry, he is literally he's the bell cow, man. I just don't know that there's a better back in the league.
The guy is because the guy is so big and he runs so hard, but he's so fluid.
I know.
I think it makes everybody kind of second guess. Like, are we supposed to hit him high? Are we supposed to go for his legs? And then while it seems like while the defensive player is deciding, he's just going to run over you.
Yeah, a machete, AK, AR, whatever. I mean,
we don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how you stop the guy. I don't know if you can. I mean, he, that game was just, it was unreal. I mean, you just can't say much. And the way they did the Bills, I mean, they just sent the Bills home in tears. I mean, so I tell you what, they're looking like a Super Bowl team to me. Is that too early to say that?
No, it's not, because they were in contention last year.
Absolutely.
Remember how far they got last year?
Yeah, man.
Away. So,
championship.
Yeah,
wow.
They're definitely in that mix. They're in the conversation. I mean, if we're looking ahead to what the AFC playoffs are going to look like, I mean, we've got some potential for like rock star matchups. I mean, every week it's going to be fun.
Oh man! Real quick, and we're running out of time. There's just so much to talk about. We can't get it all in. Your Raiders, though, man. Wow, that team. They're looking pretty daggone good, buddy.
Well, played pretty well against the Chiefs, and then we're going to have the Sunday night game coming up this next week. We'll be playing the Bucs. That's going to be a huge challenge for them. We're excited to see how they match up. This is the game. This is one of the games that I would have definitely been going to.
Oh yeah.
If we had that option to attend the Raiders game in person, this is a game. Maybe I'll just go sit somewhere in the stands and just yell.
Do it, man. Just go sit at Sam Boyd and just pretend like you're there. Look at the field and watch it on your phone. Hey, I wanted to ask you this. We got 2 Monday night games. This is one cool thing about, we've had some football during the week at weird times, and 2 team, this one, that, and all. I mean, I kind of like that, but KC and Buffalo started off tonight at 4 o'clock our time, 2 o'clock your time. Man, you'll be that's great to have an NFL game on a Monday. It's almost like having a byproduct of Sunday there during the day. But I guess the Chiefs bounce back, right?
I would assume so. They seem too talented not to, and the Bills, who obviously experienced their first loss, and now kind of have to regroup all of a sudden. I think this game's going to be really close.
Okay, what is the line?
I like how they match up.
What are we looking at on the board in Las Vegas?
Currently, Kansas City is favored by 4.5.
Yeah, I like that. I would, even though is it in Buffalo? I believe. I
don't think so. I think it might be in Kansas City.
I'm not sure. I should have looked at that. Well, here's the thing. I like them covering there, and then you got the Cowboys with Dalton. Which, I tell you what, man, you never want to see anything happen to anybody like it did Dak. I love Dak. I hate that for him. Don't want to lose him. I'm afraid that's what's going to end up happening no matter what Jerry says. But these Cardinals are pretty daggone scary. And, the Dallas really needs to win this game to get 500. And Dalton, he's got a lot to prove. He's got a chance. Never had these kind of weapons, I don't think. He's had a couple here and there, but never a loaded team. Our defense is terrible, so it's going to be hard to stop Kyler Murray. But what's the line in this one, brother?
Cowboys are currently favored by 1.
Oh, that's scary. I guess it's at Jerry's world then. Well, let me ask you this. What do you like in this one?
I like the Cowboys. I think that the Cowboys are going to respond. It's kind of like a rallying cry, at least for a few weeks. This is going to be kind of like their DNA for how they're going to respond. I think it's going to be kind of like a bonding thing for them to sort of rally around, their quarterback going down. And I think for Dalton's case, a guy who grew up as a Cowboys fan,
true.
He's going to be trying to prove himself. Maybe play himself into a contract or something with somebody, if not Dallas, but with somebody down the road.
Well, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. There's no question about it. I mean, he may not be able to, finish the game every year in the playoffs, but he's definitely got the makeup, and he is a Texas boy. That's a great point. I think he's going to use this to voice himself up, and I believe that's what's going to happen. I think they will win this game, even though our defense is terrible. I see it to be a high-scoring game, so probably take the over in this one. But we'll see what happens tonight. You're listening to Vegas Frank all the way from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada on the Linex hotline. We've got him right here every Monday on the Sports Web. Man, listen, I wanted to thank you for all the years. We this show got an award for Best Talk Show, Kentucky Broadcasters Association, and it's there's no way that would have ever happened had you not been part of this, along with a lot of other people. But you're a major piece to the show, and I can't thank you enough. And you have a piece of this trophy, and appreciate you, man. But let's move on to you got some UFC as we close it out.
Yeah, UFC coming up this weekend. We have Gaethje and Habib. You know, it's going to sort of set the stage for what we have going forward. We sound like we have Poirier and Conor. That's going to be the contract is signed or is going to be signed by both sides.
Is it? I mean, you never know about this.
I guess.
I mean, it's like, is it? I mean, my son said something to me about it last night. Hey, Conor's fighting. I was like, is he? Is he going to fight? I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of time between now and then,
yes,
you know, for things to move, for a lot of moving pieces. But as far as right now, it sounds like that's what's going to happen, that we're going to get Conor and Poirier in a rematch. And I know that they both be looking forward to Poirier especially.
What about ESPN hooking us up with a nice bout?
Well, yeah, Lomachenko and Lopez on Saturday night this past weekend. While I do think that I do agree with the judge's decision, I think that Lopez definitely won the fight. One of the judges had the fight 119 to 109. I don't know if I really agree with that. I thought that was a pretty lopsided as far as the judges scoring, but I thought that the fight was really good. And, you know, we got a little treat by getting to see a quality fight like that on the ESPN. That was fun. And the fight was really good. And, you know, Lomachenko, he had a little bit of ring rust, but he seemed to get back into it by the time they get like the 6th, 7th round. He was getting a little bit more in the rhythm. Maybe
the judge dropped a drop of coffee on his score sheet, and it just made it look like that wasn't actually what he scored.
Possible.
That could happen. I mean, you know, it could happen. Change your whole career. Hey, Frank, seriously, man, I'm not kidding. I appreciate you so much. It's such a great segment, and I just love talking to you every week about it. It seems like I've carried on old times with you. We used to talk a lot of sports in Las Vegas, and it's just fitting that we've carried it on to the FCC airwaves, brother.
Hey, man, you're a good guy, and, I mean, you're an even better friend, and I really do appreciate it, and it's been really fun to be doing this with you and looking forward to the next 5 years or so.
You got it, brother. Check him out every Monday right here, Vegas Frank, Las Vegas Insider on the Sports Web. We'll be right back after these messages, ESPN 102.7.
This is something here, Luann, to have you in the truck with me and Earl. Normally, you're just calling us on the phone.
Yep.
See, that's why me and Earl had us an idea. We said, let's bring Luann with us next round.
Mm-hmm.
Luann, we's a-hunting for something that's ancient and rich in tradition in the Bluegrass State, the ever-elusive snipe.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eugene going to go get the snipe hunting area set up, and then you ease your way back on down here after you park the truck there, darling, all right?
Sure thing, honey. Those boys think I'm going to go park this truck. I'm headed home to get my Carrier air conditioner installed that I've been waiting for the past 5 years. Snipe hunting my rear end. The only hunting I'm going to do is for Earl's checkbook to pay for it all.
So Luann turned to the experts herself for a Carrier unit from Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling because she knew your comfort is their concern. And while Earl and Eugene are somewhere stranded in the woods, snipe hunting, Luann is comfortable at home with her new Carrier unit from Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling.
JBK Network Consulting is one of the most experienced Cisco Systems partners in Kentucky and is located in the heart of Red Towel territory in Bowling Green. With a complete line of data and personal identity protection, Panasonic iPro Security Access Control, and state-of-the-art camera systems protects your company with physical security, and Cisco Systems protects your employees and data from the thieves that you can't see on your company's network. These days, it doesn't matter if you're big or small. Everyone needs to protect their information and processes they've worked so hard to build. Let one of the most experienced Cisco Systems partners in Kentucky, JBK Network Consulting, be your partner in this ever-changing technological world. Contact us anytime at 270-796-8935. That's 270-796-8935. Or email www.jbk.net. Remember, at JBK Network Consulting, we connect everything.
At Trent Bedding, we have everything you need to get that great night's sleep that you deserve. Which raises the question, why would you buy a mattress from anywhere else?
Especially when that mattress is made in another country.
Exactly, Little Trent. And we truly believe in shopping local. So when you think of a mattress,
think Trent Bedding. It's just like a mattress store. A mattress store. Hey, hey. Ah!
Remember, if I won't have it in my house, I won't deliver it to yours.
As we strive to regain some sense of normalcy in our lives, we at J.C. Kirby & Son Funeral Chapels are keeping up with all revised CDC guidelines and Kentucky State executive orders regarding funeral and cemetery services. Currently, funeral services and visitations can be held with a 50% capacity at our chapels. Multiple hand sanitation stations have been set up throughout both of our chapels, as well as signage to assist you in safe social distancing. We're open to in-house arrangements along with pre-needs and monuments. Should you still have concerns with meeting in person, we also have the ability to conduct the majority of the arrangements process over the phone, Facebook, or via our website. We are still here to serve you as we have for over the last 58 years. We hope that you all stay well and follow all CDC suggestions and Kentucky executive orders. Please continue to take care of yourself, and we will all get through this together.
Willow Oaks Golf Club is putting your family first when it comes to health and safety. Willow Oaks is thankful to provide the opportunity to have fun, memorable moments safely and easily. The space at Willow Oaks is large enough to accommodate wedding and corporate gatherings while social distancing. Willow Oaks also offers a beautiful golf course and a restaurant to relax and unwind. Become a member today at Willow Oaks Golf Club. Please contact Willow Oaks with any questions. 270-308-OAKS.
Welcome back to the Sports Web. It's time for the Culver's Butterburgers Player of the Week. High school football takes us up to Allen County, Scottsville, home of Brad Hood and the raging, fighting Patriots, who are having a great season when they get to play. But this week's player is none other than Jax Cooper, 9-ball, corner of the end zone. What's up, brother?
Hey, how are you?
Man, we're doing good. I'm also joined by Bobby Thornhill in the studio with us on the Culvers.
Hey, glad to be here. And Jax is not just a player of the week. He's a player of the year candidate. He's at least player of the month, probably player of the year candidate.
Definitely player candidate for all of the above. Man, let's just run real quick through Friday night. I mean, you got East team coming in hungry, dealing with a few injuries, but got their quarterback back, Nolan Ford. But you guys had a game plan. I tell you, it's like playing the Ravens at home when you come to Allen County, Scottsville. Hard to get out of there with a win, Jax. But take us through that first quarter, because you guys got down a little bit and came back with a vengeance, and you lost Trace for a few minutes, but he came back in. So just run through that game a little bit for us there.
We knew that they was going to come in hungry, especially playing at our place. I mean, it's always been like that every year. They came in there. They was ready, and I feel like we wasn't at first. We made a lot of mistakes, silly mistakes, some stuff that we couldn't even help, like getting hit in the head with a punt. Like, we can't help that. And then Trace goes down, and, I mean, I knew he'd come back, but I knew the younger quarterback would come in. He knew the plays. I knew he could step up, and we just came back out in the second half with a different mentality.
Let's talk a little bit about your game, Jax, as far as what happened in that second half. I know you put up some good stats. I saw on the national tweet machine. So talk about your second half.
The second half, I feel like I needed to do more. So I talked to Coach to get me more involved in the second half. I blocked better, and then toward the end of the game, Trace found me on a little screen pass, and I put it in the end zone, and after that, we felt good about winning the game.
Did you catch it in the end zone or run it in?
I run it in.
Gotcha.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, you ended up with 102 yards receiving there. And I'll tell you what, though, you alluded to it. Peyton Cope came in and was efficient, wasn't he, when he came in? He hit you for, I guess, a 35-yarder or so, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. 36 yards it was.
Well, Brian, Jax plays basketball summertime some with my son. We've been family friends for a long time, and he's one of those multiple sport athletes. I'm just afraid that he's doing so well on the football side of the ball, in spite of his stepdad. He's doing so well on the football side that I'm afraid we're going to lose him in basketball. What do you say to that, Jax?
I'm gonna be there in basketball season. My options are still open for college and all that.
There you go.
And
That's good news.
You say that, Bobby, and a lot of times those multi-sport athletes, they tend to be a little better in one of those, but I don't know which one he's better at.
He's a beast on the floor and the dirt.
Well, man, I do want you to highlight a little bit of a couple of these guys there. Talk about Trey, but Witcher, I call it the Witcher hour. I mean, that guy, he seems to always be ready to go. But Dylan Rookstool, I mean, you guys got some players, don't you?
Yes, sir. Landon, he can just run the ball hard. He ain't scared to hit you. He just run like something's chasing him. Then you got Dylan Rookstool. I mean, he's just a tank. It takes 3 people to get him down most of the time. His feet never stop. He's always just moving.
Well, has Coach brought up Russell County at all yet? I know you guys hadn't really regrouped after Friday night much, but that's going to be a good matchup there, a big matchup. But you guys already got home field advantage for the first game of the playoffs, right, Jax?
Yes, sir. After the East game, he brought up. He said, "We got Russell County this week," and he was talking about how if we win this one, that we got a second home playoff game, and how big this game is this week.
Yeah, huge game.
Good deal. Well, it's anything happens in 2020. It's all been crazy, but I'm just glad that you've been able to play as many games as you have for your senior season, and hope all fingers crossed that continues.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jax Cooper, you got it. Culver's Butterburgers Player of the Week, and the flavor of the day, folks, is Chocolate Heath Crunch. So that's good stuff over there. Visit Culver's on Scottsville Road. They've been doing this for us for a long time. They care about our athletes. They care about our community. Jax, good luck the rest of this season, man. Good luck against Russell County, and I'd like to see you guys capture at least a 2-home playoff advantage there, because it's tough to play at Allen County, and that would give you guys a good leg up marching your way down to that state tournament, which I know you want to make it to, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm a big fan, too, and I know Bobby is. Appreciate you being on the Sports Web, man.
See you, friend. Have a good day.
See you.
We'll be right back. Sports Web 102.7.
As America's largest injury firm, we have advantages few others do. Our results and reputation are well known to the other side, and we have a track record of going toe-to-toe with them and winning big. But what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your case? I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the things we're most proud about is that we set up our firm so that your case gets lots of attention from a lot of people. Our technology and army of lawyers give us insight and oversight into every detail and every moment of your case. Paralegals, legal assistants, investigators, buildings with boxes of evidence. Every resource carefully designed to get you the most possible. And at Morgan & Morgan, we even have a dedicated team to make sure that your calls are returned that very same day. Injured? Dial pound law. That's pound 529. All law firms are not the same. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
All cases handled by our Kentucky licensed attorneys.
Hi, this is Danny Hartung with First Step Prosthetics. Jeremy Harris and I would like to thank the people of Bowling Green and the surrounding areas for their support of the last 10 years. We are proud to announce that we have been celebrating over a decade of service to this community. We are going strong with the utmost care for our orthotic and prosthetic patients. We strive to provide the new and latest technology for the care of our patients and whatever their specific needs should be. Take the next step with us. Next Batteries Plus on the bypass, or visit us at firststepprosthetics.com.
Not all spray-in is created equal. For example, spray-in honey.
Why are all these bees following me?
Or maybe spray-in tanning.
Hey, you missed a spot there on your face. Oh, that's bad.
See Line-X of Bowling Green for spray-in bed liners and Line-X truck gear. It's the next level of complete tough gear for your truck. B&W gooseneck hitches, toolboxes, step bars, and WeatherTech doormats. Gift cards now available. Easy, affordable, and rugged. Line-X. Check out more at linexofbowlinggreen.com.
The head coach of your Titans wants to talk to you. So call him on the Mike Vrabel Show, Mondays at 6. From the X's and O's to whatever you're curious about with your Titans. You can also tweet him a question via Twitter at Titans Radio. On the Mike Vrabel Show. presented by Bank of Edmonson County.
Southern Kentucky's home for Titans Radio. 105.3 The Point.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Time to go home there, Bob.
I can make it across.
Well, then do it.
Well, you got all of that.
Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Knock it on. Let her rip.
It's in the hole. By the way, what did Mr. Webb shoot this morning?
It's time for Gary on the Green. Gary on the Green is brought to you by Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill on Old Louisville Road and online at bowlinggreenfireplace.com. Call 270-495-1131.
Welcome back, folks, on the Linex hotline. I've got it right here. Linex Bedliners, Roger Gina, get over there, Louisville Road, Porter Pike intersection. BG Purple. And 8th place finish in the Leachman Buick GMC Cadillac KHSAA State Golf Tournament. I got him on the Linex hotline himself. Charlie Reber, what's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for filling in for Adam Gary tonight. I was like, who can I get that's just as good? And I was like, Charlie Reber, man. That's who we can get. Yeah. Casey's with me here, and Casey just started golf, so we'll talk a little bit later about some tips. Maybe you can give Casey. He just bought himself some clubs a week or two ago. He's really getting into it. I like it. But, that's Charlie, good. Let's talk about you, man. First of all, we had you on the Sports Connection. I had a blast with you, man. That was great. This season, we didn't know if we get to have it. Golf got the green light. How happy were you to hear that?
It was great that we were kind of one of the only sports that we knew were going to play, and we didn't know if any of the others would, but I was really happy that we got to play.
Yeah, hey, Charlie, just a question for you. How is this golf season compared to previous ones, with COVID and everything going on, and do you think you've still been able to improve your game the same amount over this time span?
It's kind of the same. It's a little bit different, like the way they do scoring and stuff. Like, you can't swap scorecards, and there's no, like, leaderboards after the end of tournaments, but I feel like this year helped me a lot because I didn't have school during the summer, so I could practice a lot more and play more tournaments, and that kind of helped me get a little better this year.
I always hated keeping everybody else's score. I was like, I'm always into my game, Charlie, and I'm like, trying to save par, or you miss a par putt and a violent lip out, and then you got to go over and see what JoJo from Harmonica High School just scored on that par 3. It's one of those things to where I get that, and but you also, golf is such a loyalty, a moral game. I mean, if you've seen Bagger Vance, and I hope you have, it's a great golf movie.
Yeah, I think I have.
Yeah, if not, you need to watch it. But it's one of those things where you measure a man by his honesty, and that's why I always hated keeping somebody else's score, because there's guys out there that maybe they did have maybe they parred, maybe they bogeyed. You weren't really paying attention to them because you're looking at your line and you're trying to figure out your next shot. But who were some of the competition in the area? Because when I was young, there were some Bowling Green guys like Jim Lee, Jeb Zeller, Steve Renfro. There was some guys from Johnny Carwell from Franklin. Some other guys, Rodney Norris from Glasgow, and some other guys up there. Who were some of the guys that are your competition that you actually like to play, that you feed off of?
Probably like the Langs from Jacob and Michael Lang from Greenwood. Yeah. We're good friends, and it's fun to play with them. And then like Chase Wilson, Franklin Simpson. Yeah. He's a good player, and I like playing with him. But probably like Chase Hodges from South Warren. Those are all guys who I like to play with, who we have good competition with throughout the season.
That makes it fun. It really, really does. And not to play, not to be rude, but there's hackers out there. There's hackers, and I was a hacker when I was 10, 11 years old, but I've been playing since I was 12, so I'm still kind of a hacker sometimes. But that part kind of gets tough on you when you got guys, hooking it out of bounds and this or that. I'm going to go back and think in your career, and you got plenty of golf left, but what's something crazy that's happened to you on the golf course?
Probably, I mean, I would say there's a couple times when I was playing a tournament this summer, I think I shot like even on the front 9, and then hole 10, and I made a 10 on that hole and hit 2 out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Man.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
tough.
That was something pretty weird that happened this year.
I played at Campbellsville in college, and I was on like the 9th hole and was actually playing okay. And that same thing happened to me, man. The second one I hooked out of bounds. And don't ever do this, but I've slung my club just out of just furious anger.
Here comes the putter throw.
And here comes the putter throw, Happy Gilmore, and then. Man, I hit this dude like straight in the shin. I'm so lucky he didn't just beat me up. I was like, the whole way up the fairway, I just kept apologizing to him, like, what an idiot. But you learn from your mistakes. Have you had a hole-in-one yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's going to come,
I've been
I'm sure.
Close, but I haven't gotten one yet.
Have you ever had any violent lip outs?
A couple.
I hate them.
360s.
Oh, yeah, I hate them, man. We call that an all-around good putt. Do you ever travel and play some? Have you played like Persimmon Ridge? Have you played? What's the sweetest course not local that you've played?
Like in Kentucky or just wherever?
Anywhere.
Actually, this Thursday I was in Oklahoma, and I played a course called Southern Hills, and there's been like 8 majors there, and it was really cool to play there.
That's pretty sweet. You brought me to my next question, and then we'll finish up. I want you to give Casey a couple things that he probably at this stage of his golf career needs to work on. But before we get there, let's talk about Oklahoma State. I mean, you're a huge fan. How much would you love to play there, A, and who's your favorite alumnus from there?
Yeah, that'd be awesome to play there. I don't know. I still got a couple, got to get a little better to play there, but it would be really cool to play there. And then probably Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, I was going to guess Ricky. I figured.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite golfer.
That's cool, man. Well, anyways, I wanted to ask you, it's Casey here. I wanted to ask you, kind of for a beginning golfer like myself, I've been able to make some solid contact on my drives, and my drives are getting better. But my wedge game and my iron game is really just not cutting it right now. I'm not making solid contact. So what's a tip for a beginner that you could give that would help me clean that up a little bit?
Well, I'd probably with those, I'd probably try and go to the range and kind of work on the yardages that you're kind of having trouble with, and if you're not making solid contact, just try and swing smoother and just get the solid contact first, and then you can work on the yardages and distances you need.
Yeah, I've been to the driving range here a couple times, and it's gotten a little bit progressively better as I've gone. But as far as my swing goes, it's kind of just with consistency right now that I struggle with. But it's good to have somebody on the radio that I can always get tips from on the Gary on the Green segment.
Yeah, no kidding. That is great. He's been. I think it's kind of what got him into it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, definitely.
I wanted to ask you another one for a tip. Now, I use my ball and some either writings on it, or I'll draw some writings on it if I don't. But what do you play? What ball do you play first of all, Charlie?
I either will play the Titleist Pro V1X or TaylorMade TP5.
Ooh, you like that TP5?
Yes.
I hadn't hit that ball. I'm a Pro V1X guy. I have been, since Pro V's pretty much came out. But that I've heard that's a good ball. And a lot of people like that Bridgestone ball. I haven't played it.
I haven't played the Bridgestone yet, but yeah, I've heard good things about it.
You're putting before you putt. What's kind of your getting ready to go? I mean, how do you line your putt up, and how do you read your putt? And I've heard that you're a pretty good putter, Charlie. So I'd love to know kind of what your ritual is.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good putter, but usually I'll mark it, clean it, and then kind of get behind it, see what I see, then probably go about halfway, and then see where it's going to break at the end. And then after that, I don't really use any lines on my ball. I'll just place it down kind of the white part facing up. I just see the white part, and then I just try and put a good stroke on it.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. So I lived in Las Vegas for a long time and played almost every course out there, bro. So I'm telling you, someday go out there and play some courses. There's some great ones, but they're really fast out in Las Vegas. Now, a couple of courses around, Old Stone can get quick. Bowling Green can sometimes be quick. Indian Hills used to could really be fast. I don't know about these new Tiff Eagle greens. I haven't putted them but once or twice, but I'm sure they can make those pretty quick too. But I love a super stent meter fast 12-13. I mean, do you like a faster green or do you like a little slower green?
I like faster greens because I feel like you just have to get it online and then
get it started. Yep.
Yeah, just get it started and then it's better than slow greens because you gotta see how hard you gotta hit it, and sometimes you get poor contact by swinging harder at it.
Well, my last one, and I'm going to let you get back to your life. But first of all, thanks for being on Sports Web tonight. I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to get you on here since I had you on TV, and it was a lot of fun. And maybe one of these days we can go out there and hit 9 holes or something. I'd love it. But I wanted to ask you, what is your absolute favorite thing about the game? And also, I wanted to ask you this earlier. What was it like in the region, man, when that first day, when that weather? I mean, you battled it hard, and then you and Chase went to that playoff. You guys battled so hard that day. I was impressed with both of you. But how hard was those conditions?
It was rough. You would get pop-up rain for about 4 or 5 holes, hard rain, and then hard wind. And then it would just be, it was pretty cold. So the ball wouldn't fly as far, and I had to adjust to that, and trying to keep all my stuff dry was tough, but I feel like I handled the elements pretty well.
You really did, man. That was very, very impressive, and even more impressive, your 8th place finish there at the state championship, man. Way to go. It's awesome. You're a great golfer, really good kid, and I'd love to see you make it to Oklahoma State, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck in the future career of this game, and we'll catch up with you again down the road, my man.
Thank you.
Charlie Reaver, everybody, Bowling Green High School Purple Golf. Casey, I'm going to see you next week. I'll see you actually Wednesday.
Wednesday, man. We got Soki, and then we got game night Friday.
We got game night, baby. We're out in South Warren, so tune in there. Spartans taking on Christian County. That's probably going to be a running clock. That's going to be
maybe we could change the atmosphere there, make it a good game.
That's true.
Build it up a little bit.
I had to give them a little credit against Bowling Green because we're going to be at their locker room. That's where we set up at South Warren.
Sure.
So I didn't want to say blowout. Of course, I knew it was going to be, but Purple's man, they put it on them hardcore. But man, I love it. High school football season. We're almost to the end of a season. We're going to get through this thing. It looks like.
Yeah, we are.
All right, folks. Enjoy that Cowboys tonight against the Cardinals. You got a score prediction for me?
Yeah, I'll go Cowboys 28, Cardinals 27.
I like it. Come back and see us. Sports Web next week. It's Brian Webb, Casey Warner, Danny the Hartung the Limb, ESPN 102.7.
Yes, sir.